Moving into the AFC North, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who we have with a B. Dobbs, how are you feeling about Derrick Henry in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson?
Well, yeah, so we know, bro, no lie. Like, I mean, Derrick Henry definitely raised the ceiling of this grade a lot. And I think for me, really, there's only two signings that kind of went into my grade. Like, you bring home Derrick Henry, you bring home Justin Admetabike and that re-sign. Like, man, that's already a great free agency class in of its own. Like, Justin Admetabike, top three most underrated players in the whole league, absolute game wrecker officially now. And then you get Derrick Henry, right? All that we're worried about with King Henry is just stay healthy down there. I don't want to look back on this as one of those, man, what could have beens, because that's the vibe you get initially when you look at it. It's kind of like, is he going to be able to stay healthy? He's going to be able to still stay at his peak. But if he can, like, man, this is going to be a fun duo for a long time, as long as King Henry can stay healthy for. But then also, like, minus those moves, definitely nothing needle moving. I guess I like the Brent Urban resign, but like nothing crazy. And like, no, but I guess like we were saying, if you're the Ravens, you didn't really have to do much, and they kind of knew that. So
So here's my thing. I think a B is a great grade for them because I think with bringing in Derrick Henry and you already have the, rushing ability of Lamar, and we saw what Keaton Mitchell can be. They have such a great thunder and lightning punch, probably the most like I don't know how to say it. Like, if you were to put thunder and lightning to a player, it would probably be those two players. Like, what represents it most? It's probably this backfield. I love the Matabike signing. My question is, what do you do with the receiver room? I feel like OBJ is not coming back, and I feel like he kind of at least added like a little bit of veteranness, if that's a word, to the wide receiver room. And you have Zay Flowers, you have Nelson Aguilar, and you have Mark Andrews. But like, aren't we back to the same position that we've always been in? It's like, where is Lamar getting help, in the
well,
wide receiver room? And
and
yeah,
what I was going to say too, bro, I just want to include this because this is something where I think nobody ever even talks about this, and I never even talk about it. It's like, but this is really where things start to get scary now at the receiver room. Like before, it was fine because Mark Andrews used to be out there like every game, and we were not worried about the Mark Andrews health like we are now. And it's like, well, at the least Mark Andrews will bail out Lamar. But now it's like, yeah, how sure are we Mark Andrews is going to be out there all season? It's definitely not like it was like before. So all of a sudden, yeah, that receiving room is very short. Like.
I like the Matabike signing. I think I was surprised they extended him. Honestly, they have typically just kind of let those guys walk because they've been so good at drafting and filling those needs. But I think with the way he played last year, they're like, we can't let this guy go. So yeah, no, we had a B for the Baltimore Ravens. Moving into the Cincinnati Bengals, we have as a B plus. I really liked the Zach Moss signing and then the trading of Joe Mixon. I think if you're going to release a player and you can get even a seventh rounder, I think it's worth it because you're basically getting just another swing at a player, regardless of the round and how likely they are to be a productive member of your team. I still think it is a good signing. I like the Sheldon Rankin signing. I don't know if he's going to be that replacement for a DJ Reader, like an exact replacement. I think I would rather have Reader, but I think the biggest thing is the Geno Stone and Von Bell signings. They had a tough time in the safety department last year, and they solved the issue. I'll let you kind of talk about it a little bit more, but just to finish it off, Mike Gesicki, Tanner Hudson, and Drew Sample. They got a type for tight ends. So very interesting to see what they do there. Zach Moss is explosive, but yeah, Dobbs, how you feeling?
Well, yeah. So number one, I think the only question we have to ask is when we see the tight ends, taken here, is the Brock Bowers dream dead over here in Cincinnati?
I don't know. Any tight end that plays in Cincinnati ends up getting paid typically. So I just think Brock Bowers would be such. But could you imagine Brian Thomas Jr. in this offense?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like at this point, after this class, they're probably going to prioritize elsewhere. And it was like before, it was like the tight end was the only way to go. And now it's like they definitely could go a lot of different directions. Yeah, I just want to echo that sentiment you were saying about the safeties too. Bro, bringing back Von Bell in the same year, you also land Geno Stone. Like, Geno Stone is in that exact same category I was just talking about with Matabike. Like, two of the most critically underrated players in the entire sport. Like, a lot of people probably still don't even know who Geno Stone is. If you don't, wake up. You need to learn Geno Stone is officially one of the best safeties in the league. I'm tired of the disrespect. And the Bengals got him in free agency, man. Like, just an absolute W.
Bengals B plus. Moving on to the Cleveland Browns, who we have as an A. So I think the reason we have them as an A is you have a reliable starter as a backup now in Jameis Winston. I'm a big Jameis Winston guy. I think, you know, he can be that guy for a team. I think if he's given another chance, I know he had the 30 for 30 season, but he also threw 5,000 yards. Like, not a lot of quarterbacks have thrown 5,000 yards. They brought in Devin Bush. They brought in Jordan Hicks. They re-signed Zadarius Smith. I don't love Jerry Jeudy, but for a fifth and a sixth, it's worth to take a shot on and put him next to Amari Cooper. I don't think they've really hit on their wide receivers in the draft. So getting a number two to play behind Amari Cooper, nice. And the reason we gave them an A is just because they just got stuck with really bad injuries last year. And I think if they would have been healthy all year, or at least most of the year with most of their players, they would have been one of the top maybe six teams in the league. Like, they balled out with a four-string quarterback in Joe Flacco. Now, is Joe Flacco a four-string quarterback? No. But if you want to count, that's what he was. And the Browns just kind of improved a little where they needed. Maybe they're not done at wide receiver.
No, they definitely improved in a lot of spots, and you got to give a shout out to the Browns. Also, this is just random, but I have to include it because it's hilarious. Bro, I'm looking at the signings, and I don't know how I missed the first time, where it says here they listed Adam Troutman on the Browns. And I'm like, I know for sure Adam Troutman ain't never been on the Browns. And it says re-sign. And I'm like, hold on, let me do some research. Because I'm like, I thought I saw he re-signed to the Broncos. They have him listed as the Browns here for some reason. I don't know what the NFL.com is
Interesting.
doing. I'm with you 1,000%. Like, bro, they did everything they had to do. Love the Jerry Jeudy move, where normally I wouldn't, but for a fifth and a sixth, and then you put him with Deshaun, like, I feel like there's kind of maybe a little bit of a room for a huge growth right there. You love getting Darius back, Shelby Harris, Maurice Hurst, like keeping that interior just rocking. And I think I like them Jordan Hicks, I also like as an addition. Devin Bush, like I said, too, he could have definitely a chance to like really revitalize his career here. I like a lot of their signings for sure.
All right, we had an A for the Cleveland Browns. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have a C minus. What an interesting offseason, Dobbs. How are you feeling about the Russell Wilson signing and the Kenny Pickett trade?
Well, I think this is because we didn't really talk much about this, but I think that we're thinking very much alike on this. It's like you brought Russ in the building, and that's cool. That's kind of exciting, but it's not the same Russ it used to be. And it's like, how much does this current version of Russ move the needle over everything else before? And it's like probably a fair amount. But regardless, were the Steelers already built to like go win the Lombardi? No. And it's like they didn't really make that many moves at all. The only really relevant ones was Patrick Queen, and then they got fleeced for Dante Jackson, depending on how you want to look at it. Like, I don't know, bro. I think, or not, I'm not fleeced for Dante Jackson, but fleeced to where they got Dante Jackson. And then I do like the Deshaun Elliott move. I will give credit where it's due, but like, it's just not enough. It's not enough when you had to do a lot, you know?
Yeah, I guess I have a lot of interesting things on the Steelers. So I think if you're going to bring Russ in on a 1 year deal, it's kind of to allow Kenny to sit and develop, because he just hasn't been like that guy from a maturity standpoint. He hasn't been that guy on the field standpoint. And I understand he wasn't handling the news well that you signed Russ, but I mean, he was your first round pick in 2022. He's only been on the team 2 years, and to deal him to Philly for almost nothing, like a pick swap. My thing is, who gives a fuck if he's not handling it well? Put him on the bench. Put him on the bench as your first round pick. Like, they don't have another quarterback on the roster. Mason Rudolph is with the Titans now. Now, I think this opens up another trade destination for Justin Fields. I think it was pretty
Yup.
barren, but I think Justin Fields is probably going to end up a Steeler after this has happened. I guess my thing though is, bro, like, okay, so we saw Kenny Pickett attitude issues. Deontay Johnson, attitude issues. Claypool, attitude issues. I know the whole thing is about Steelers being a good team, but when do we need to start questioning maybe the culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yo, hold on a
Because
minute,
I,
bro.
I just feel like this is never ever talked about, but there's constantly attitude issues. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. Like, what is fueling these
Did we say
issues?
George Pickens?
George Pickens, even. Like, what is fueling these issues in the Steelers locker room?
No, no. Jokes aside, bro. What is going on over there, dude? Like, no, no, no. Something's in the water in Pittsburgh, bro. We're cooking something here.
I also didn't love the Patrick Queen deal. I just think like he excelled under Roquan Smith, and there's just not another linebacker like Roquan there.
I definitely feel you on that, though. I definitely do understand where you're coming from on that one.
So we had the Pittsburgh Steelers with a C minus.